Okay, so next I'm talking about listing presentations and how everyone can create a listing presentation that's really short, to the point, succinct, or you can highlight all of the best features of what you offer, what as an agent with EXP, with your transactions, the number of, total sales volume that you've had. It's your time to shine, toot your horn. You can incorporate your property values or CMAs into your listing presentation. Back in the day, I used to have a binder, a nice leather binder, and it had the different tabs. And one section was about me, one section was about the company I worked for, one section was about my accolades, another section was about the market, and another section was about marketing. Kind of the same idea, except now it's either in a book, you can make it a book that looks like a book with whether it's thermobound, whether it's spiral bound, whether it's with a staple. I think all of that is going to determine on the type of property you're trying to collect as a listing and who you're representing or hope to represent, whomever the sellers are. So a lot of that is going to take some thought process. A lot of people print from their own home printer, which can be great for maybe a manufactured home, a condo. It just kind of depends who your client is and what level of property values that you want to work with. That all depends, because home printers are great for fast, quick, and easy print offs, but if you're trying to come up above and come off a little differently with a higher level of professional look to your pieces, then you might want to send your items out to a printer to get professionally printed. It costs a little more to do that, but it can, be worth it. But it all depends, and you can work your way through it. I've done both. So I mostly did do it at home printing off my own printer myself, unless you have a very high-end printer. I did that for many years, printing from a Canon or an Epson or a Hewlett Packard printer at home. So it will get the job done. But that's just an option there and then moving up to whether you have a binding machine or a thermobind machine or just a stapler or a folder where you just want to put everything in a folder. All of that pretty much works at the end of the day. It's just how you present yourself and how you present the material is really what's going to get you the listing. And if they know you, like you, trust you, or feel that they could trust you and you have good rapport, then it will all work out. But I'm going to share my screen because I do want to point out a few different resources to you. And the first resource is going to be, let's see if I can move me down here. And first resource is going to be EXP's Marketing Center. And EXP's Marketing Center is available to all of us because we're at EXP. And you need to sign in with your passport, and hopefully mine is set up so it doesn't take too long to log in. Oh, it's not on this one. Hang on just a second. It might be here. Let me go to this side. Let me go to this side and do that. Well, here, hang on, there we go. And hang on, I think I have it on this one where I can just log in quickly. So the EXP Marketing Center is where you want to go because they already have templates built out, whether you're trying to get a buyer guide put together, whether you're trying to put a listing presentation together, they work pretty quickly. Okay, here we go. Looks like it's starting to open. Okay, so this one, if I want to go to a seller or a kit or a buyer, open house, prospecting, social media, sphere marketing, all of this is here. But today we're talking about listing presentations. So with this one, it shows you all the different things that they have available. They have seller documents, video templates, consumer-facing videos, social media, or I can go here on the left side and click on seller. And this one, oh, shows me the same thing. Let's try seller documents and see what's here. I like this image right out the gate because it's a roadmap. Oh, look, it gives you home staging checklist, neighborhood guide. These are all pieces you can download and you can create your own listing presentation with all of these different pieces. You can listing management checklist, a community report, a seller. I love the seller's roadmap. This is a great one. Let's click on this one. Start the design, and it's great because you just plug and play your information. You can drop in your photo, your name, your email, um, seller's roadmap. Number one, meet with a real estate agent. Number two, establish a price. Number three, prepare your home. This is something you can have at an open house and just hand to somebody. And you can say, why don't you take a look at this and let's meet after the open house, or let's meet, Monday or Tuesday next week, what works best for you, etc. You can do that. Or I know what I'm trying to get to is the kits. I think it's the kit, the listing presentation kit. Here you go. You can order these kits, and what they are pieces, what we call assets. They're marketing assets for you to bolster your next listing presentation. And you have in the box, it's an EXP branded box, sample sign writer with a QR code. And what that does is it leads clients to additional marketing resources and information, a sample listing flyer, sample door hanger, sample postcard, and sample thank you cards. So you can get some of these if you don't have a home to list. You can have tangible pieces of marketing materials to take with you to your presentation and say, this is the type of flyer I can make for you. This is the type of postcard. This is the type of door knocker presentation material I'm going to have. These are the types of items that I can use when I represent you and sell your home. This is what it's going to look like. This is what it's going to feel like. These are great for the people that like to touch and feel things. So you want to make sure you have something to give them, something to hand over to them. So they have that for buyers. Let's go back to the kits. That's a listing presentation kit, right? So that's when you're going over there. Or you can also, in addition to that, you can click on the active listing kit. And what that has is when you have a listing, and it's good to even go through some of this. If you have your iPad or your laptop, you can show some of this to your potential sellers and let them know, we're going to have a single property website. What does that mean? Your house is 123 Main Street. We're going to have a website called 123mainstreet.com or something of that nature to market your home specifically. So everybody that goes, I'm going to market that website so that way whenever people go there to look at the property, they're going to see the drone video, the videos that I have with music, the photos, the floor plan, the Matterports. They're going to see everything on this website, and that's where they're going to go. That's part of my marketing. You're going to see a sign writer. So the yard sign outside is going to have EXP and my name and my phone number, but it's also going to have this writer at the top with a QR code. They're going to scan that code, and they're either going to have you on there saying a video who you are and to email you or text you for more information, or maybe it's a video going directly to that Matterport video that's on that single property website. So you can get creative with what you want to put the link to in that QR code, but that's also available. Listing flyers, there's several different types you can choose from: door hangers, postcards, and social posts. So you can create all of these, and all of these through EXP are already done. All you have to literally do is add in the property photo, price, the address, your photo, your contact information, and maybe some words about the property, and it's done. And then you can send it to the printers here at EXP or the vendor that they use, or you can download it, print it out yourself if you want, or you can download it and send it to a local printer that you want to. You can go to local Staples. You can upload information online to Staples. You can create an account at Staples. You can upload it. You can see the proof of it, and then you can go pick it up the next day. So, and I've used Staples many times, and they're really, really good. So EXP Marketing Center is a win. You always want to go here first, maybe to take a look and see what they have. available, and you can see all the different products that they have. If you want to do email signatures, if you want to do newsletters, if you need Spanish materials, it's available. Letterhead, videos, door hanger, presentation, you name it, Facebook ads, social media posts. They have stuff that's already created for you, so you don't have to think about doing it. But if you're the creative type and you want to try and do it yourself, you absolutely can. And my favorite place to do that is in Canva. Now, Canva has their own, and I'll show you that in a second, but here's one that I created, and it was a kind of a combination listing presentation and CMA property analysis. So what I did was I went by, took a picture of the house, and selling doesn't have to be hard. And it's a little note from me about representing sellers, results driven. This is a little bit of the accolades from myself, why they should maybe hire me, and tell them that there's 4 stages of selling home. It's pre-listing, and here's some bullet points that are included with pre-listing, prepping for the market, when it's active on the market, and then when you have an offer and closing and the different steps involved there. And then, but before we even get to that, the pre-listing section is talking about their current home. So the house that they want to sell, here's a snapshot of it. Here's the property details of the home, and this is information I get from Realist, and it's accessible through your MLS or MLS listings specifically. I know it's not in all MLSs. And then here is the range as an example that Realist says that that property value is worth. And then the square footage, price per square foot, and then the square footage of the home, the area acres of that property or the square footage of the property, and then the year built. All that's pertinent information because next I went into the competition, into the MLS, and I pulled comps of what was sold, what was active, and hopefully what's pending down at the bottom. But if there's nothing pending, then you do what's active and what's sold. Pending, what's sold is great because that's a true value competitor right there. That is what buyers were willing to pay for those properties. What's pending is a good indicator based on the current price of that house that it went pending at, but more specifically, the days on market that it took to go pending. So if it's at, $1.2 million and it took 2 days to go pending, that house is either or both in great condition and a great price, and it probably went over 1.2 as an example. So that's really key to know. So I need always put the pictures of the comps, and you could do it different ways. MLS is where I go to. I do Realist, I do MLS, and I do RPR to gather the data on the property. I also check Zillow and Redfin because I know that the sellers are going to be looking at Zillow and Redfin, and I always make a point to talk about Zillow and Redfin within my presentation. And so I'm talking about the comps here, and I'm letting them know that this house here, this one on Treasure Island, sold for 1.4, 3, 2.5, 4-car garage. This particular one, the garage space, was a big deal, and the square footage was a big deal, and the condition of the house was a big deal. All of these are beach properties, so they all kind of had that same value because they were close to the beach. And then the actives was also a very key indicator. This one here for 1.2. So these people thought that their property was 1.6 easy all day long. But the condition was really more like this one here. Although this one wasn't as close to the water as the one that I was selling, it was a very good indicator on price based on condition. Based on location, we had something like this over here. And this one, great condition, but overpriced for the square footage. So different things like that, it's like give and take. We can give more money for the size of the lot, or you can take away because it doesn't have as many bedrooms, or you take away because the condition of the property. So you kind of have to give and take and adjust and help them adjust the mindset by showing them the pictures, the facts of what's sold or what's active, or, that 1.6 is still active and it's been on the market for a year. Do you want to really price it at 1.6? You told me you wanted to get to Florida next month. I think that's not going to help you get there in that time frame if it's priced that high. So there's ways to also let them know if to either substantiate or to help substantiate their pricing and their value in their timeline, or to help you with the facts and reality of what the property's value truly is based on time frame and status, whether it's sold or active, etc. And then the ones that are the cream puff properties, cream puffs are the turnkeys, nothing else to do. This one, as an example, I wrote, as you can see, this property is updated, nice kitchen and bathroom amenities, has hard wood flooring, hard non-carpeted flooring, interior paint looks fresh, as does exterior. It also has an attached 4-car garage, not a carport. This allows a sense of security for a buyer. The condition emphasized the location and price, and this one was sold. So I always say a little bit of something about the particular property that I'm comparing it to. And whether it's good or bad, I'll lay it out on here. Like this one started out at 1.275, but it sold for 1.4. Difference here is it has a medium staging as far as the interior, and an actual backyard space. Front drive is not as steep as the photo makes it out to look like. The interior is a little dated, but overall the layout is functional. While it's on the same street as the one that I wanted to list, or that I ended up listing, the walk to the beach was a lot closer. So the location condition emphasized the location and price and got that one sold for a little bit higher price. So there's reasons for why I select particular properties. I definitely make a point to let them know why I'm selecting these. This one here was an active, heavily staged, much higher price, but the buyer market will dictate if the condition, location, and price are good to get it sold at that price. It was a lot higher priced. Seemed tight though, even though it was a little bit bigger. So anyways, this is what I do. And I gather the pictures from the MLS for the comparables, because this is just information for the seller to see what that other property is going to look like. Now and the reason why I did it this way was because I was working with several sellers and there was one point of contact. So I was in email communication with her, and she wanted to email this to all of the other people. So it wasn't viable for me to do a Zoom and share my screen and go through the pictures one by one on all of the different properties. This was faster and more convenient for them to be able to have the photos to see it, so they can zoom in if they want and look at the information that was convenient for them at a time that was convenient for them. So I made it work for them. It took a lot of work putting all these pictures in. It took me a couple hours to put this presentation together for them, but it worked out because I ended up getting 2 deals from them. But pricing to sell fast and for more money. This goes into talking about pricing. And when people, I like this because it says, you may have heard that there's very little housing inventory right now. This means that prices for homes have gone up. As a seller, this is excellent news. The timing is perfect for you to get the most return on your investment into your home. Even in today's market, there are still homes that sit waiting for an offer for months and months. This time spent on the MLS means that you're still making your mortgage payments, and or you still not getting equity out of your home. Even worse is what buyers and buyers agents think about homes that are considered stale, meaning homes that have been on the market for too long. So and that's true. When a house is on the market past 2 weeks and it's not gone pending, you're like, what's wrong with it? Or did they price it too high? Buyers think it, agents think it. So it's real. It's a real thing. But what I do is I call it out. I call it out on the table by putting it here in writing. You don't have to put it in writing. It could be something you just verbally tell them when you're there. But this, I felt like I had to put a lot in writing for them because, again, it was multiple people that I had to get this out to. And then this is the map to getting it sold, 8 strategies to getting your home sold, market prep, staging, photography, online marketing blasts, social media, open houses, print marketing, active phone work, preparing your home, first impressions. This is getting them set up for What does the house look like? What's the condition? Do they need to do repairs? Do they need to clean the house? Do they need to paint the interior? Do they need to wash all the windows and mirrors? Do they need to stage the house? Should they stage the house? What inspections, are you recommending? A home inspection, a pest inspection? That's just for the interior. What about the exterior? Do they need to wash the windows on the outside? Do they need to touch up paint the front door, the shutters outside? Do they need to paint the trim, power wash the house? Do they need fresh exterior paint? Do they need the home inspection or pest inspection? Preparing the home. Oh, that's a double duplicate. Staging your home. Pros and cons of staging the home. So it really just depends. And that was one thing one of the houses needed badly was to be staged. And this gave them factual numbers. 83% of homes, let me make that bigger. 83% of home buyers said staging a home made it easier for them to visualize the property as a future house, whereas 67% of top agents say that home staging helps sellers fetch more money for their house at resale. So the cons of staging can take time to set up, take time to take down after selling. Staging can be costly when hiring a professional. It just really depends on the price point of the house, condition. Will it really make that big of a difference? How unique, custom is the home? Sometimes staging can make all the difference, and sometimes it's like, meh, with or without it, it's going to sell. Maybe have the seller save a little money and not stage in that situation. When you're working with stagers, find out most all vendors want their payment up front. There are far and few that will submit their invoice to the escrow or title company and get paid at closing. Some do, not all of them do. The majority of them want their money up front. Whether you pay or the seller pays, that's up to you because it's your business. But just know that payment will need to be done upfront. Have a conversation with a stager before you get into contracts so you know how they work, what their timeline is, because really good ones get backed up. And so if you take a listing today and you want to get it staged over the weekend, you're probably going to be going to Home Goods and buying stuff yourself, because not all stagers have the availability or time to do that. A lot of them are backed up and may even have you on a wait list, like, oh, I won't be available for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or I'm booked until 3 months from now. Wow. Okay, so you're going to need to, depending on the house, figure out who you're going to have as a stager. So make some phone calls and go into open houses and see if there's staging involved. If there's a house that has staging that you love, call that agent and ask them, who did you use for your staging? Because it's amazing. And use that stager. It's great. And then the other thing to know about stagers is they don't keep their furniture in the house the whole entire time. Sometimes if your house is sitting and it's overpriced and the sellers refuse to reduce the price or adjust it, or you didn't agree to price it correctly from the get-go, sometimes the houses are vacant and empty and staged for 3 months at a time or longer. Well, the stagers don't the amount they charge you is usually for 30 or 60 days, maybe 90 days, that's pushing it. And then you'll need to renegotiate that contract. Otherwise, they're going to come back and take their furniture after that time frame is up. So be aware of that. Professional photography, I let them know about professional photography. I don't use a cell phone camera. I use professional photographer. Some people have really good cell phones, and some people maybe have photography or maybe they're a photographer. Maybe if I was a photographer, I could actually use my cell phone and do it professionally well. I am not, so I don't. So I have a hire out for that. And then presence online, and let people know where they can expect to find their property online. And social media stats, I give them stats as my social media. Open houses, I tell them about open houses that I'm going to do, how I'm going to do them, what type of print marketing I plan on doing for their home. And I plan on making phone calls for their home also. I don't just put the sign out and wait for people to call me. I actively call homeowners in the neighborhood. I find out their address, of course, and then I reach out to my favorite title person and I get addresses for homeowners in the neighborhood. So I can get their name, I can invite them to the first open house, either the day before the open house or maybe an hour before the open house. They're going to be my VIPs because we all know that they're going to come to the open house anyways. Why not make them feel extra special? And why not put yourself in a position to maybe be the next person to sell the next seller on that street's house if they're considering selling? Often they're always just looking to get renovation ideas, which is also a great idea because, well, oh, you planning on renovating your home? Are you planning to sell it also? Or, oh, no, we're going to retire in this home. Oh, that's great. You never know. You want to have good conversation, good rapport with the neighbors, and you want to be able to invite them and make them feel special. I did that with my last couple deals, and I let them know, I even door knocked to their houses. I called them, I made flyers, I door knocked to the homes, I invited them the day ahead of time to the open house, and it was a VIP open house just for the neighbors, and they really loved it, and they all came out. It was great. And I told them when this is in once it's sold, I plan on calling you all or coming back, and I'm going to let you know what it sold for. And that way that'll give you as a homeowner an update on the market in this neighborhood specifically. And you'll know, where the bench line is for your neighborhood. And they really appreciated that. And it's just a way to stay in contact with the people. And then showcasing their home. I have all this information here. I keep it in when applicable. This is a really good one. I love to share this. Now, I thought this was important, and it's important to set it up, whether you say it in person or, sorry, y'all, because I'm talking so much. Whether you say this in person or you say it because, hang on. Okay. What they say and what they mean. When a buyer says the property has a lot of termite damage, or this is an old house, I'm not sure about it. What they mean is the buyer's afraid of major expenses down the road. So for the price your house is listed at, they fear it's going to cost too much money later and not worth it. When they say they were hoping for an open floor plan, or the floor plan wasn't right for them, or they thought the rooms would be bigger, it's possible the photos are hiding something obvious that people won't like. Maybe. So maybe consider reshooting the pictures, or sometimes pictures are deceiving in that the rooms look bigger than they truly are. Some photographers have that wide lens that make the rooms look bigger when they're really not. So you really don't want to false advertise either. Sometimes photos don't show how awesome a house truly is. That happens a lot. Or maybe they didn't look at the photos very close at all, and it's not your pictures. So either way, they're probably disappointed with the reality for whatever reason and not going to make an offer because it's just not what they really want. Or how about this? They say it smelled funny or the pet odor was strong. What that means to a seller, and this is important to tell sellers when you're having conversations with them, is you need to clean or throw away air fresheners and or remove odor. So it's like, oh, do they have pets in the house and they have carpet? Okay, you really are going to want to consider removing the carpet. I know it's a cost you weren't thinking of, but instead of painting, you might really want to consider taking out that carpet because you can have everything else done in the house. You can have top-notch appliances, top-notch renovations, fresh paint. But if that house has carpet that smells, and this has happened, I walked into one, the house was awesome. There was one room in the house. It smelled awful. It was hard to walk through that room. They did not get top dollar for that house. They had to reduce the cost of that house. Was it because of that one room? I don't know, but I would say probably if I had to bet money on it. So that's something to be very, and homeowners who have the fresheners and the whatnots in the house, they're used to the house. Everybody gets used to their own house smell. So it takes an outsider to come in to be able to let them know lovingly and gently, just like this is here, like, to get top dollar, you want to make sure that everything is neutral, which is another reason why you want to take off all your family photos that are on the wall, on all of the tabletops. I know they are dear to your heart, but we want people to visualize themselves here. We don't want them to get stuck and stopped in their tracks looking at all of your details, because that keeps them from looking at your house, which is what we want them to do. So you want to do that. Anyways, so that's one of the things I do. I add that in there, what they say, but here's what they really mean. I love those pages. And then I go into talking about the offer, negotiating the offer, what that looks like, and then other parts of the transaction. There's going to be disclosures, what that looks like, inspections, financing, appraisals, closing, what that looks like, and what the offer process looks like. We can accept the offer as it's written. We can decline the offer, or we can counter offer. So those are options. We want to let these sellers know that. So remember, you have that seller from 20 years ago who is going to need to be reminded of the process. You have the seller who bought 2 years ago who might know this process, but you know what? Do your due diligence and share it anyways, because maybe it was different when they purchased the property. And then the final steps, and then when to schedule the move, how often, what they need to do after signing, 4 weeks to move if they have a rent back, 3 weeks to move, what to do in 2 weeks, what to do within 1 week of their move, etc. My promise to them, and then I have testimonials, and then let's stay in touch. Here's my contact information, etc. So, and then if you have, if you're working with a team or have a team, you can put all your teammates on here, who they are, what they do, etc. And then the last thing I want to show you is this company here. It's called elevatedagent.co. I love this company. I have bought so many things from this company because it's great. This lady, I think her name is Kelly. She's fantastic. She has, oh, well, let me click here to shop. Why isn't it letting me click? Click here to shop. Custom branding. They do templates. They have branding. They have a membership. Well, let me click. I don't know why it's not letting me click in. Oh, here we go. Okay, so you can click into shop by style. You can shop by type, seller guide. You can shop by what their best sellers are, their latest templates. And what I mean by this is they have everything they have is a Canva template. So you purchase it and you can upload it to Canva, and then you can just switch it out. So as an example, let's say you wanted to do a new construction guide. They have new construction guides. Let's say you wanted to do a seller template. This is just going to show me all the seller templates. And let's say I want to do a seller guide. Let's do this one. Oh no, that's an under contract. Hang on. Whoops, wrong one. Take off bestsellers. Let's go new. New. Okay, so the latest ones: closing home, take home, expired guide, CMA box. She has all sorts of different types here. Let me go to latest templates. Let's see what that one has. Okay, so welcome home closing bundle, social media posts. She does newsletters. She has client improve your credit score. She has so many different types of property things you can repurpose and put your own name on everything. I really like her. I've used her for quite a number of years. If I go back to my Canva and I go back to my home and to my projects, I'll show you one that I got. Actually, the one that I just showed you, I got from her. And I have different types that I've got from her in the past. And they were like these social posts, the social calendar, pre-listing reports to your clients, just listeds. What else? I've gotten so many different, like all of these little market updates, newsletters before you sell. Here's one that I got from her. And like, this is the template as an example that she sent me. And her fees are low. I'll switch back to that really quick. Like one bundle was like $25, $7.50, $37. So it's very nominal to get a template because half the battle is how do I put it together? What do I even, how do I put, what do I put in there? And here's a great idea. You put your logo. You could change the colors if you want. You could change everything about this if you wanted to. Oops. And you put your photo. This is about you. Meet your team, your stats, your logo, why partner with us. Um, Here's marketing examples. Again, marketing examples, lots of marketing examples. You could do a lot here with this. Steps to sold. She just has different ways to put it. So if my stuff was too busy and this looks better because it's like bulleted and to the point, and you just want to use like black and blue colors, do it. You can. But this is just an idea for you. So you have different ways you could put your information together, but I just wanted to lay some of that out for you. So I hope you got something out of this. And if you have questions, let me know. Okay, take care, everybody. I'm going to stop recording.